Okay, so this is part 3. I thought I should show the painting process. So I have 3 different paint brushes here. These two have very similar tips. I've used this one because I use it for everything. It's my magic wand. This one I like because it has a little bit thinner of a tip, you know, if you compare the two. And then this one is very fine, so I'm going to use that for the lashes. And then I picked out a skin tone color for the eyes, a little darker brown for the shading of the eyes, and then we have black for the eyelashes. And then I was drawn to the blue that we talked about in video part 1. And we have a white, kind of pearlescent white paint. And then we have a darker blue. So I may mix these blues and whites a little bit just to make some different colors. So I like to use just water in between and keep the paint really light and the brushes really light. So we're gonna start with the nude skin tone, and I just wet my brush a little bit. We're gonna start kind of just painting the skin tone of the eyeball here. Turn it to the side so you can see. And I'll just kind of keep lightly dabbing it in the water and the paint just to give it a little bit of a base for it to start to come to life. Make that just a little darker because that's a very light skin tone. Just blend it in a little bit. Don't worry about being super neat. And then we'll wet the brush again and go a little bit with the dark. So that was the eyebrow. Just kind of highlighting the eye a little bit here. And I like to use acrylics with water because you can always start light and then fix a lot of your mistakes later. And see how we can do a little blending here so we make the skin tone a little more lively. Now I'm going to switch brushes. I'm going to go to the very fine tipped one because I want to do the butterfly. And then I'm going to do the lashes last. So we'll paint the little body of the little butterfly. And the tips of his wings are a little black. Wet and wash the brush off so we can go to some blue. Just very lightly because you don't want to mix it in with the black too much. So we started with the light blue and then I'll add a little bit of the dark blue. And I really like that. So let me give you a view. The butterfly is starting to come to life. You can see the eyelid there. Now we're going to do the lashes, which are fun. Just real light touch here. over top of that butterfly just a little bit, but very lightly because you don't want to smudge. And you could always wait for this to dry and then do the lashes. So you could go over the butterfly a little bit. But I think, you know, for the purpose of this video, you get the gist. So there's the one I closed with the butterfly on it. And now we'll move over to the open eye. Do a very similar process. With the light skin tone. Just enough to kind of highlight, you know, what you're doing. We'll go a little bit to the dark brown here. So you can always go a little lighter too with your pencil. So I think what I want to do for the eyeball is I'm going to paint this whole thing light blue, and then I'm going to let it dry and go over these little fine details with a gel pen, because I feel like that'll be easy, and I kind of get excited to see that, you know, the final image. Ooh, this kind of looks like a moon to me. I'm kind of seeing a moon now with this. Like the moon is highlighting these images, these visions. Oh, I love this idea. Just took a little bit of the darker blue to highlight that eyeball slash moon a little bit. I think I'm gonna make this fade out. And we'll take some white and put a little bit of white in here. Back to the black for the eyelashes. Then if you mess up, you can take a paper towel and just kind of dab it. So obviously we mess up sometimes, right? So it is what it is. You can always fix it. So I'm gonna let that dry and clean it up. But this is, you know, part 3, round 1 of painting. And you let this dry and then you come back and fine tune it with more paint or some gel pens. Actually, I'm gonna dab this dry because I want to fix that eye a little more.